usahay sa ato ang kuan, di ba daghan kay klase nga feelings. Daghan kay klase na feelings, may it be sadness, happiness, but ang isa ka feelings na we tend to forget and we tend kanang i-take lang for granted is ang ato ang self-worth. Isa na siya ka feeling na which is very important. So, in explaining our sense of self-worth and authentic self, I really like one of the most common na illustrations na nadungog na ako. I first heard it from Michael Neal's audiobook. It was entitled Effortless Success. So, where he used the metaphor of a diamond, horse poop, and the nail polish. So, imagine, there are 3 diamonds which is covered with horse poop, and on top of that, it is painted and coated with a thick layer of nail polish. So the diamond represents our authentic self, who we really are, and the horse poop represents all our insecurities, self-doubts, and fears. So who we fear we are, and the thick layer of the nail polish represents the self that we project to the world. So who we pretend to be. Can you see the 3 layers? So most people, our sense of self-worth is false. We're looking at the nail polish instead of instead of the diamond in us. So it's because we fear the others could see that we fear the other could see the corrupt in us. So we put on a thick layer of polish to attempt to fake it till we make it. Wait. Am I still? Hello? Narinig
Yes,
ba
te.
ako? Okay.
Yes, te.
Sorry, nag-load lang kadali. So, yeah, that's it. Many people's nail polish could be in forms of positions, titles, a desk that they sit behind that represents their authority and status. And for others, it could be wealth and properties, things they possess to show to the world their worth. Still, for others, it could even be a religious piety like a great ivory tower, which symbolizes a moral authority. And this is where they hide themselves in. So we even try to get the help we can from the self-help industry and self-improvement gurus. And what most of them do is to paint a thicker and more beautiful nail polish over the crack. Yeah, some even sell nice fragrance to attempting to cover the smell of the poo. Still, other experts say that they can help you get rid of all the crap. Don't get me wrong. It's not ineffective to deal with the outside layer, which is the horse poop or the nail polish na ako ang ki-illustrate. But there is another way that is more joyful, effortless, and powerful. Why not start from the inside out? So, have you discovered, or did you already discover the diamond in you? Who are you really on the inside? Who are you when you're not trying to be somebody? Why hide your authentic self behind all those expensive masks? So let me explain it further by my personal experience. Yeah, I was once taught and I was once fooled by my own thought that I can only be worthy when I pleased and when I was loved by others. I was once taught that one of the most important things to achieve self-worth is having a good reputation and constantly complimented by others. I was trained by this thought, and so over my entire life, what I kept doing was to do good things, to please others, to study hard, to share generously, to make myself enthusiastic, to make others laugh, even I don't feel to be. I showcase my skills and abilities to make others, especially my parents, my aunts, my grandmas proud. I even does all the chores, and I always make myself available for others. In social media, I once addicted to portray myself as all-knowing and someone who has a good life. I don't give people a hint of what battle I am fighting beneath me because I don't want them to see how weak I am. I don't want them to see see how teared up my whole being was. And I must confess that being complimented by others brightened a minute of my life, just a minute of my life. And yes, my whole life was hilarious. I do all these things to cover up my fear that I may not be loved by others, my fear to be alone, my fear to be disliked, my fear to become disappointment, my doubt about the things I can do, my doubt about conquering my fear, my doubt especially about myself. I have a lot of doubt of myself. My insecurities that I am inferior over the others, insecurities of not being perfect, insecurities of not having a perfect life, insecurities of the things I am not capable to do, and insecurities of every aspect of life. You know, there is a point in my life that I was so overwhelmed and consumed by my doubts, my fear, and insecurities, and it really paralyzed me. It made me paralyzed to the point that I cannot even question my worth. I don't know og makangutana nato. Bililon ba ta? Because na-question nato ato ang pagkabililon because of the things we don't possess or the things kanang wala sa atoa. And I keep doing it in my life. Kaya mura na ako og kanaang gi-torture ako ang sarili pa tungod aning ako ang mindset about sa ako ang mga kakulangan, flaws, and imperfections. And look, everything was so exhausting. Doing good to cover up the mess will always cause another mess because you choose not to fix the internal defects. Rather, you pretend that everything is well when it's not. We are not everyone's cup of tea. We cannot expect everybody to like and love us the way we wanted. No matter how well we try to please others, people will always have something to say. Right? Kabalo ko na agianin ninyo. And I've been through a lot sa mga ingana nga instances sa ako ang life. And doing these things over and over can create and may lead to stress, depression, or anxiety. It is sad. Yes, it is very sad. So as I continue living my dull and exhausted life, I then realized how chaotic my life was. Because of the constant pain, hurts, criticism, and judgment, I get to the point of my life that I lose all my interest to chase the validation of others and start living my life the way I wanted and not how others wanted it to be. So finally, after deciding to throw all the burdens, the wheel of going after people, and the baggages of pain that I was carrying ever since, I thought my life would be wasted, and because for sure, people would constantly throw comments and opinions against me for stopping to please them. So from then on, I stopped pretending and start recognizing my interior aches and issues. I start addressing my pains. I start reconciling with myself. I start forgiving myself. I start gathering all my pieces and rebuilding it. I stop existing and I start living. It was only that moment I felt the genuinity of living. Never did I know from that very basic decision not to stop chasing the validation of others, I was led to see something within me, something I never seen and felt before. The diamond inside of me. It may be sound cringe and lame for others, but I can testify that I only recognize that beneath me is a gem when I entrust my whole being to the Lord. It is not us that gives our self-value and worth. It is Him, our God, that put worth in us. And that is the thing that most of us miss to see. You know, the worth is already within us. The diamond within us is our true identity. And our true identity is being a daughter and a son of God. Yeah, and that what makes us worthy beyond measure. So when we think that we are defective, damaged, and was never enough, that's a lie. Because our worth can cover the multitude of our flaws. No imperfection and flaws could ever affect and belittle us when we understand and recognize our value and worth. This is something that we should keep on emphasizing in our life because this is very important. So when you anchor your life proving to other people your worth, you will always end up being frustrated, empty, in pain, and will always feel that you are not enough. The good news is, when you anchor your life to Jesus, you don't have to prove your worth because He alone could do it for you, and your worth will reign over your life. And that even without working and pretending hard, people would see the light in you. When you please the Lord, everything, even the praises of people, would follow. It is in line with my life verse, which is the Matthew 6:33, which is the seek ye first the kingdom of God, and everything shall be added unto you. So just to seal everything I said, I want to share the 5 Bible verses that I bear in my heart that led me to understand more of the will and ways of God in my life, because it has been vitally important for me to rely on the truth of these verses. So as a Christian, I define self-esteem and self-worth as having confidence that I am who God says I am. But before proceeding, I just want to ask some of you here for interaction. So here, can I have Gia? Okay. Hello, Gia. Are you here with us, Gia? Hello. Wait, my chat. Okay. So, murag wala si Gia, no? Or siguro wala yung signal si Gia. So, moving forward, we really have to be kind of firm on what we believe and what we stand for. And kato gani ako ang ginastand sa ako ang sarili. That nag-decide yun ko nga dili na nako i-anchor ako ang sarili sa sige prove sa akong sarili sa laing tao, because I always end up being frustrated. Okay. Sorry nag-click, nakuan lang siya, nag-loading lang siya kadali. So mao to siya, abalo ko, most of us here may agi gyud ana, regardless of the gender, regardless of unsa man ta, regardless of the status sa life, ni agi gyud ta anang tanan. Nagyud siya different level of pain, and it can really affect you and impact you. The way you perceive life will be changed good kung nakaagi kag inana nga mga klase na pain. But the decision is yours kung magpabilin ba kang magpundo dira or mutindog ka para makahawas ana. So the first verse na ako ang iingon sa inyo is the Joshua 1:9. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. So, when you don't feel like you're good enough, it's easy to want to blend in, right? Kung feeling nimo dili ka okay, dili ka kanang kulang gid kaayo ka, offload kaayo ka, gusto lang gid nimo makisabay-sabay. And the more na mag-involve kag ingana, or the more na i-perceive nimo ingana, mas dali ka maka-compromise sa pattern sa kalibutan. So, ningtago ka sa back and avoiding bringing any attention to yourself. But God commands you to be strong and courageous. And not in your own abilities and strengths, of course, but because God will be with you wherever you go. You can live in confidence because of His strength. When you understand that your worth is sprouting, I'm sorry. Kung masabtan ninyo ang inyong worth nagasugod na, kung nakita na ninyo o na-recognize na ninyo ang inyong worth, the confidence will start sprouting. Dara po ko, katong sa una, maulawon jud kay ko. Choosy and picky kay ko in terms sa paghalubilo og mga tao. Because I am so afraid jud na makita nila ako ang crack and crap inside of me. Pero na-realize na ko ba nga, worthy man di ay ko. And that is the very reason nga na-build up ako ang confident. Diba? Kung example, mag-set ang example. Kung anak ka sa mayor, motto sa nail polish, anak ka sa mayor, na-adjog kay murag kanang, anak bitaw ko sa mayor, ing ani ko. Feeling ni mo worthy ka, kay gamhanan ko di mo hang papa, tapos mo, confident kay ka sa imong sarili, confident. And this gives us a glimpse how important for us to see our worth. Very important because dili manggod nato mabuild atong confident kung di nato makita ato ang worth. O kung wala tay confident, we will be consumed with our fear. Next is Jeremiah 17:7. But blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord, whose confidence is in Him. Again, the message here is that we don't have to stress so much about our own weaknesses and flaws and what might other would and could say, because dili nato na dapat problema. You know, it's their issue. It's not ours. It's their problem. If they have something against us, sila man ang naay something against us. Naman sila may problema sa to. It's not our job to please other people all the time. Yun. We don't have to be the smartest. We don't have to be the most successful, the most productive, or the most anything that to say na valuable kita. Our job is to do our best and to trust the Lord. And the Lord Himself will work through that. Okay? Next is the Psalms 139, 139 verses 13 to 14. I know this is very common, but this is one of the most powerful verses na naka-change sa ako ang perspective on the way how I perceive life. Nausab yun. For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. Now, how I love this verse. When everything about me feels wrong and broken and I feel like I am misfit into this world, I can rely on the fact that God created me just the way I am on purpose. You were not a mistake. You were perfectly and wonderfully made by an almighty God who does everything on purpose. See, we have to understand that we are worthy because we have purpose. We are created for a noble purpose. Wala ka nabuhi para sa imuhang kaugalingon. Wala ka nahimugso para lang sa imuhang pamilya. Wala ka nahimugso para lang i-chase ang imuhang damgo sa kinabuhi. God has something for you. But first, pangitaas sa jud imuhang worth. Kay dili gyud maka-move si Lord kung gina-block nimo imuhang sarili, gina-block nimo si Lord sa iyaha through depriving yourself na makita ang imuhang worth. That right, and there is enough reason to walk with your head held high. Nadyo kay reason every time na ma-remind ko ani nga verse, kanang magduko ko, kanang maulaw kay ko, kay unsa man ko, oy murara mag ako ang pinakaminos sa kalibutan. But these verses keep on reminding me, no, nak, dili ikaw ang pinakaminos. No, nak, dili gid ka minos. Because I made you fearfully and wonderfully. Amazing lang gid kaayo si Lord. And kung naaman ko isa ka butang nga ipasalamat sa iyaha, kani yung confident na iyahang gigrant sa ako. Because my peers nasayod gyud sila kung unsa ko sa una and before. And God can really perform something nga out of nowhere nga murag beyond na jud na ma-imagine nato. And I really can testify you nga when you believe and when you entrust and when you just surrender everything to the Lord, si Lord yung orchestrate sa inyong kinabuhi. And everything will never be the same again. Next is the Isaiah 41 verse 10. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. So are you starting to see the theme here? When you're facing hard things, don't let fear, doubt, and insecurities paralyze you, just like what I mentioned earlier. So una gilet lang nako ang kaning fear, doubts, and insecurity nga mo paralyze ako. But I decided na dili ko dapat magpabiling paralyzed. So whether you've lost your job, you're facing difficulties in your studies, don't know how will you ever lose all the extra weight you're carrying or the hundreds of other things that could plague us with worry, do not fear. Do not fear. Na ako'y nabasa ba, share lang na ako ni sa inyo ha. Ang do not fear daw, disulat daw na siya sa Bible 365 days, which means every day, every single day, within a year, do not fear. Ayaw gyud kahadlok. Ano basahan lang po ko to. Share ko lang. Next is Ephesians 3 verse 12. In Him and through faith in Him, we may approach God with freedom and confidence. Did you catch the important word here? Faith. It's through our faith that we can experience the fullness of freedom and confidence. Not being a better person through good work, and not by trying harder, by believing. Our faith is the key. Kung para sa uban, PM is the key. For us Christians, for us believers, faith is the key. And faith will always be the key. Diba ka nang amazing lang gid kaayo si Lord. Kanang amazing kaayo siya pag siya gyud mamuhat kay makaingon gid kag lahi ra gyud. Kaniadtong wa pa nako nakita nga ko ang worth. Belittling myself in every aspect became my habit. Dali ra gid kaayo ko mustorya og negative may tungod sa ako ang kaugalingon. And because kana ang nasulod ko aning Y2DN ba, grabe sila maka-review ug makakanang magtudlo sa akong masay, ayaw pag-ana, ayaw banal. Pananaw ko sila, usa man ni sila mga tao, kanang sobraan naman kay ni sila ka-positive sa life. Anagud kanang dili gid kay nila ginalet ang negativity ba. Mao jud na ilahang culture nga never did I thought na ma-adapt sad nako. And amazing kaayo nga katong time na na-adapt ko na nalahi gid ako ang pananaw sa kinabuhi. Ginalimit na ako ang sarili sa mga butang na pwede o kaya di ay nako buhaton kay konsum kay ko sa kahadlok. Sa unsay pwede iingon sa ubang tao, and later on na realize na ako na I should not let people who do little things for me to create a massive impact on my life. Nanagog, kita manggod ng mga tao, we're so overwhelmed and kana ang kunahuna gid ta bang ba sa iingon sa laing tao sa atoa. And mao gid na ang maka-imprison sa atoa. I don't know most of you here. I don't know what kind of battle you are facing that is constantly affecting the way you see your worth. But I just want to tell you that regardless in whatever it is, when you lay it to Jesus, it won't prosper. When you start seeing your worth, the way you perceive life will never be the same again. Just like what happened to me. Wala gyud na fail kung wala gyud aspect sa life or butang na ma-fail kung ilaylang gyud na imo kay Jesus. Amazing jud kayo siya. Facing circumstances is an opportunity to let God move. And I just love how God finds creative ways to draw us near to Him. You know, in times of kanang feeling mo, grabe na ang sorrow nimo, grabe na nakaka-down, frustrated and all. Tira gid nimo makita nga nag-reign jud si Jesus o mo reign jud si Jesus. Because God is God and His nature will never be affected by our flaws and everything about us because He is God. You know, you took yourself for granted When you let people take you for granted. Isa gyud ni asa ako ang gusto i-emphasize sa inyo habang gi-take ninyo inyong sarili for granted for letting other people take you for granted. Ano good? Ayaw i-deprive imong sarili sa freedom na deserve nimo. Find your worth. Always find your worth. Go against the flow of the river when the world will knock you down and slap you with the lies that you ain't worthy and valuable. You have to stand yourself. Kaya kung dili ka mo stand for yourself, no one else will. You know, as early as now, I just want to challenge every one of you to find your worth, to see your worth, to see the diamond in you. Because sayang kaayo na o dili na ninyo i-recognize. Because Satan is very crafty. No, not seeing your worth. Pwede na niya maggamito na against you. He is very crafty. Do not let him do kanang para makurap imong mindset. You are wonderful. You are one of the kind. You are a masterpiece. Again, you are a masterpiece. Nothing and no one could ever change that. In the eyes of our God, you are way more valuable and worthy than any kind of gem nga naa diri sa kalibutan. When you anchor your worth to Jesus, it may be in season or out of season, you will always determine your worth. Kana lang yun ako ang gusto i-emphasize sa inyong tanan na dili mo magpadala sa kahuyang sa kalibutan. Ayaw mo og kana ang unsa ba ang tama nga term ana? Ayaw gyud mo kanang padala sa bugso ng damdamin. Kana kung usahay manggod bisang wala nagiingon ang laing tao sa ato. Kita lang usahay ang naga-create og kanang negativity sa ato ang hunahuna ba. Ay ani pero wa ko nagingon ang uban. Pero grabe lang kaayo ta makadaon sa ato ang mga sarili. I can testify na kana ang ginasakay-sakayan na gid ka ni Satan pag maging anak ka. So na-realize na ako akong worth. Mutuo mo sa dili. Di gyud ako na i-down ako ang sarili. Aware gyud ako ang mga friends mga peer gina-always gyud ako sila gina-remind ay lain pud i-down na to atong sarili. Dapat di gyud na to i-down na to ang sarili. Because di pa kamatian ta, bililhon ta, anak ta sa Ginoo. We have all the reasons to say nga regardless of my status, regardless of what I am not capable to do, I am worthy. I just want to end this by telling and remind you once again, for a million times, na worthy ka. Worthy ka. Worthy ka. And you are a masterpiece. Thank you.